PDRcontractors.com. Developed to connect, promote, and advance the PDR industry. Start your membership today.
Feel the difference with CBD direct oils.
CBD oils may have the health benefits for your aches and pains. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of PDR Tool Time. This is episode 222. 222. How about that? I'm Vince D'Alessandro, along with John Renstrom. That's reading something right now, aren't you?
It's just you and me, Vince.
That's it. There's no one else. They've abandoned us.
Dad's gone. The younger brother's out the door.
Yeah. Are we going to be responsible today or not? I don't know.
We've never been responsible.
No, I think everyone's just going to have to tune in and listen in and see if we're responsible and where this podcast takes us. Because we got a couple things we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about scanning and scanning technology. Just briefly, we're not going to bore you guys with it. We're going to get more down to the numbers of it and why you should be scanning. And then we're going to cover some more of that cold glue stuff that's, you're finding all sorts of new revelations. I'm finding new sorts of revelations. I think we should talk about that. And then we'll call a few people. Actually, we'll probably call people sooner than later because it is getting kind of late in the night.
Yeah, it is. Now, you're getting all packed up. When are you going to be in Texas?
Okay, well, the plan for Texas is probably the end of June, beginning of July. My wifey wants to be in our house by June 24th, which is our 20th wedding anniversary.
Okay.
So I don't think that's going to happen, but we could shoot for it.
That's going to be a whole lot of fun to unload all of your stuff in 95 degree Texas weather.
Right. Thanks for the reminder.
I'll have you know, right about then, we should be around, just breaking the mid 80s marker up here.
Right.
So.
And I'm coming from the beach where it cools down to like the low 60s at night and a high of like 75 during the day, maybe 80 on a weird night or day.
Remember, hydrate. Hydrate. That is the key.
Yes. Well, I also have a teenage boy that will be huffing a lot of that stuff into the house.
Yeah, so that's true. That makes a big difference.
Yeah. So good success with the business. My business partner finally waited to the fire sale, seeing that no other PDR technician stepped up and wanted to purchase it. Actually, it's not a matter of wanting to purchase it. I'm not sure why. Maybe financials. So he ended up buying it. He didn't get the biggest fire sale that he thought he was going to get, but I'm walking away with enough to be happy.
Good.
Yeah. Especially
that's awesome.
In the middle of COVID, right? Trying to sell a business. And
no doubt.
When how many people are unemployed and I'm selling a business?
Yeah. It's like 30 million. I think my RV is sold during the middle of this too, but the guy got called away to work. So it's like, he's got to get his butt back there. The bank won't release the funds till he signs it, and the money's just sitting there.
Oh, get out of here. Oh, wow.
Like, oh, come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think things are kind of relaxing a little bit, and hopefully more people get back to work.
I hope so. And that's what they're saying, and some of the financial people are saying we're going to see this huge boom in the next like 3 months. It's just going to go nuts, which kind of coincides with an election that's right around the corner too.
Yeah.
So who knows? I'm not a big conspiracy theorist. Are you?
No, I enjoy reading some of them because some of them are so outlandish. You have to.
Yeah.
But, So now, are you pushing any dents right now? Or are you like done pushing dents until you get moved?
No. Every day I'm at the shop pushing dents.
All right.
Because if I'm not at the shop, I'm here packing, and I'd rather be fixing dents.
That is true. That is true.
So when you see me do those videos, those live videos and stuff, that's me at the shop in between doing dents. Now, oddly enough, John, I had to pull out my Power PDR box twice today, and it was so funny because I'm wearing my Dent Killer shirt today, which was just coincidental, right? So I've had 2 shots on a Chrysler Pacifica. One was a Chrysler Pacifica right rear door, nasty, sharp dent, right? And I was getting paid a pretty penny to fix this. And I knew I could shrink it up with the power PDR box, but it failed. It didn't fail.
Oh,
I failed.
really?
I failed because I could not get behind the brace to fix it.
You don't. Oh man, I've got a flexible electrode for getting back into tight spaces and everything that I use.
Okay, well, the problem is it had the carrier plate, right? The sliding door, which is a major pain in the ass on the Chrysler Pacifica, right?
Yes.
So I RNA'd everything, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just not going to take off the carrier plate. I'm going to take out the speaker. And I went in there with my die grinder. I couldn't even get my die grinder in there to clean off the area behind the brace to get the thing out. And at that point, I was 2 hours in of pushing on it. And I'm like, forget it. I'm done. I'm defeated.
I hate losing to a dent.
Oh, yeah. And, it was an aluminum panel, too. And I told the guy, no, I thought it was wide open. You know what I mean? It was one of those, I pushed on it. It's like, okay, the brace isn't there. And,
wow.
Man, it got me. So, oof. And then I moved on to a Toyota Prius rear door. They had the same thing, like a golf ball. Boom, right in the middle. And I videotaped this one because I knew this was wide open. And I had that dent unstretched and back to normal within 10 minutes with that power PDR.
It's crazy. You can do some just monster saves with it.
I
changed storms. So I don't get I'm using my hot box now more than I'm using the power PDR.
Right. Which one do you have? The two or the first one or the second?
I have the first one. My power PDR is the first one with the fixed cables.
Right.
The size of a Prius, weighs weighs 2 tons. Yeah. I've got one of the big ones. Now I've got it loaned to a friend over in Wyoming where I was working because he had to use it on a couple of dents. Sure. Over there.
It's amazing. And I'm not really. It's kind of bad that we're talking about it because you can't buy one right now. I mean, it's
got limited quantities of version 3.
That's what I heard. But they're probably
sounds like they're going to be gone fast.
Yeah. For those that don't know, they're all pretty much, they're sitting on pallets over in Europe. But because of the current crisis, they could not get them shipped over here because the only stuff that was getting shipped over here was, medical supplies.
Yeah. Essential. Yep.
Yeah.
So pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm breaking in my scanners and I'm breaking in Glexo like nobody's business. That's what those are my main 2 things that I'm working with. And the company that I'm working with, it had no scanning. So they're looking to buy some scanners. So I've got the 906 BT and the MX 808.
Right.
I'm a huge fan of the 808. We're in a smaller shop, so I can prop it on the door so the cordless doesn't make any difference for me.
Yeah.
But it is such a runner and gunner as a fast little unit.
Do you think it's faster because it's corded, or is it just because it doesn't have so much stuff in it?
Because it doesn't have so much stuff.
Right. Okay. Now,
but that burns you too at times.
Right.
I learned
when you have to go reprogram a module on a door because the window's not going up or down on a Silverado anymore, or the latch on a Toyota Tundra is not working. You can't do anything with the 808 with that, right?
Right. You can't access that particular module and function it like you can with the 906.
Right.
But what we are learning is that's $125 for a pre-scan and $125 for a post-scan.
Yeah.
There's $250 per car more now
for something
something that we have to be doing, should be doing.
Should be, yeah. And how long does it take you?
Oh, I probably only spend 10 minutes a car.
Right. 5 up, 5 down.
Yeah.
Now, guys, I know the answers to all these things because but I'm asking the questions you guys ask me, and that I'm asking of John because he's doing it way more than I am. He's working on lots of cars. I'm scanning, 4 cars a week where you might be scanning 4 cars a day. Well, maybe not.
I'm only. Most of what we're doing is body shop, so they want to be. So I did a lot of scanning just to play with it, because one of the things I wanted to know, because we get asked, you and I both get asked these questions: do we really put in any codes?
Right.
And oh yeah, man, we smacked some out of the park. Huge. Threw up 7 codes on one. We got an old turd wagon.
Uh-huh.
Had to unplug the overhead console on this Chevy pickup. And like Jesse's like, dude, I wouldn't scan this thing. It's old. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have anything. Yeah, we still threw a code because we unplugged the overhead console.
Oh.
The overhead console didn't have anything in it, just lights and a couple of buttons for the home link.
Yeah, yeah. And that was it.
We still threw 2 codes for that overhead console.
Now, let me ask you this. As I tend to clear all the codes, and I'm not sure if you should do that or shouldn't. You probably should just be clearing the codes that you cause, correct?
Yep. I take the pre-scan, and then now Altel getting that scan out and printed out it's a bugger of a thing. I just email it to myself. I print out that pre-scan, and then when I do my post-scan, I have the pre-scan in my hands, and I go through, leave the codes that were there, and I only clear the codes that we put in.
Right. Okay.
And one of the reasons why I did this, and I think I might have talked about this a little bit on Tuesdays, but we had Geico come through the door saying, well, we don't pay for pre-scans. So I handed them the printout. And I said, okay, well, we were doing a brand new 2020 Ford Explorer.
Uh-huh.
Had barely 2,000 miles on it. It already had 5 codes.
Yeah.
From the factory.
Yeah.
So I handed them the code, and I said, well, now you have the information in front of you, so now Geico is responsible for these codes. So if you're telling me to post-scan and globally clear the codes, Geico is now taking full responsibility for these codes.
Yeah. And what did he say? No, thank you.
Well, he took the photos of it, sent it up to his supervisor, told his supervisor, and his supervisor sent back that, no. Those are Ford's problems. We're paying for the pre-scan because now we know that Ford caused those issues. So we're just going to go ahead and always pay you guys for your pre-scans now. We're not going to discuss it anymore.
And that's a good point.
That's how I killed the argument was, finding those codes. But we pulled the lift gate, and that put in 6 codes for the lift gate because they have pinch sensors on right side and left side, and they've got multiple sensors. And as soon as they were disconnected, that Explorer knew it and threw a code for a problem with that lift gate.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I do it just to do it because I learned about the unit itself. When we had Chad on here, the Chad from Autel,
yes,
he said, whip your tool out and play with it. And that's what I do. Because sometimes, if someone's just in for a door ding and the car's going to be there all day, I'll just whip my tool out and plug it in just to learn a little bit more and how quick and easy it is to do it. The more, just like door ding and, fixing door dings, the faster, or the more you do it, the faster you get. So, yeah.
What are you finding on Chevys? Like when I plug in a Chevy, it asks a ton of questions. Do you find that?
It does. Yeah. Chevy definitely, they ask a ton of questions, but they're like, it's not important to what we're looking for is what I find. So I just kind of generically select things because they're just asking me the engine size and this and that. I'm like, I don't know. I'm not a mechanic.
Case.
Transfer case, the rear axle, and I'm a freaking dent guy. I'm not a mechanic, and I don't think it matters.
Was the air in the spare tire put in on the 3rd of July or the 5th?
And was it nitrous or was it oxygen or air?
So and Chevy's the only one I found that's that way.
Yeah. What I like about the Autels is that I've had no problems across the board with all manufacturers. Even Sprinter vans. We have a Sprinter van, our Sprinter van's a 2004, and it even reads that.
Nice.
Across the board, it runs, and that's one of the reasons why I know Anson chose the Autel system, because a lot of them out there, they have problems. I know Snap-on has problems with European cars,
Yeah.
And, this other one has problems with American cars or Japanese cars, where Autel across the board, it's the best bang for the buck, which is good for me because, John, I'm a cheap bastard.
Me too.
So, it's the best bang for your buck. And the fact that, like you said, $125 for pre, $125 for a post. And sometimes if I'm not up to arguing, I'll just get the $125. But it's like, you know what? That's fine with me because it's $125 that I didn't have for 5 minutes worth of work. And it would have taken me 15 minutes to fix a dent or something like that would have, for the same price. And I didn't have to hurt myself.
Yeah, exactly. And so far, we have not been denied the money on our retail hail claims.
Yeah, my Mercury insurance girl, she automatically just puts it in because she knows I have the equipment. And even before I had the equipment, she knew that I was sending them out to get done.
Yeah.
So she was happy to see. And when she walks in to do an estimate, I already have the pre-scan printed out on the windshield. So she sees it.
I honestly, I recommend doing that with that pre-scan when you have an adjuster coming in, because they might argue it, but man, so far I'm finding, I think 3 of, I don't know how many cars I've scanned had no codes. Everything else already had pre-existing codes.
Yeah. Yeah. They all do. You know what the worst is? Like the freaking Land Rovers, man. Those things are pieces of shit.
I'll be honest, I don't see a lot of those in South Dakota.
You probably don't. And I mean, dude, I actually work on quite a few of them. And we're talking new ones right off, 2019s and newer, like 2,000 miles on it. I scan them because I had to take a door off, and I did a pre, and I'm like, holy shit, it was like the Explorer.
Wow.
It had like 5 or 6 codes on it already. It's like, how could that be?
That's nuts. But, when we had the Chad on, that was one of the things that he had taught was don't globally clear those codes. Those codes are the responsibility of the owner and the manufacturer. So I really took that to heart. I've learned a lot on that. So you guys really owe it to yourself. It is surprising the number of codes we throw in our day-to-day repairs. And it's been a real shocker for me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing. So, okay. The plot thickens with the whole cold glue situation, doesn't it? I think we're learning more and more about it. I've talked to Craig over at Anson. He revealed some things about what he knew about it last year on a McKinney storm that he walked into where they were not allowed to pull headliners. And they had to they used cold glue the whole time on every single dent, and it was light damage, but they were able to repair roofs completely with cold glue and blending.
Did that today?
Yes, you did, and you showed us a video about it, right?
Yeah, I did a video on that rail. So if you guys haven't had a minute to see, I show this lightweight slide hammer, the Tequila Ice tab, thumbprint tab with the Glexo on it. But you also get a chance to, I really got a chance to dissect that video. And one of the things that Jesse and I have learned is doing the small dents like this. We do so many so fast that you can actually ruin that little dab of Glexo quickly. You might as well have overheated it with your torch.
Right. Huh?
Oh, and it becomes a mess. Jesse was standing in the middle of the shop swearing because his hand was covered in black Glexo so bad he looked like OJ trying to put the glove on in the middle of the court. This is the first time I've been able to speak about it without tears running down my eyes, for I was laughing so hard. We had a Lincoln in the shop, and Jesse probably did 200, 250 Glexo pulls in a row in a 20-minute span.
Wow. Just
banging through panel after panel after panel, running around this whole Lincoln. Well, it stretches so far. Like, when you're pulling it off the panel, even when you're using that big tab, it just seems like it snaps like our hot glue does.
Yeah, exactly.
But it doesn't. It stretches a lot. And if you watch that video and you slow that down, you'll see it stretch 6, 8, 9 inches off of my rail. and this is a dab smaller than a dime.
That's crazy.
That gets it pretty hot. And what we found was we weren't pulling the bottoms out of our sharp dents, but we're like, well, that's Glexo. You can't pull the bottom out of the sharp dent. Well, we took off that wasted Glexo and I stuck it to the side of my tool cart like bubble gum, grabbed a small little dab of new, and I pulled all the dents that it wouldn't pull the bottom of before.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yep.
Well, yeah.
So it does weaken.
It does, yeah. And that's why, I did a video showing the difference between the hot cold glue and the cold and the original stuff. And there's definitely a difference. I did a little test. I took some of the gray stuff, which is considered hot, and I stuck it in my truck, and I stuck it on the dash in ambient heat for a couple weeks now to see what would happen to, the breakdown of it. I probably could have taken a heat gun to it. But I wanted to just, kind of speed up the process of it going hot and cold and some temperature differences. And the cold hot glue, the gray stuff from Glexo, is actually it didn't break down at all. Like what you're talking about with the black stuff.
Yeah. So I'm going to have to get a hold of some of that and really give it a try. Yeah. But the gist of this is that's a 4 minute 16-second video that I posted. That is 100% unedited. The only thing I did was add a title to it, and then I just uploaded it onto the PDR Tool Time page.
Sure.
So that has me videoing the rail and how horrible the rail looks, setting the camera down, finding my rail in the camera. You see me actually move it a few different times, go over and make 25 to 30 glue pulls.
Yeah.
Clean off the splagma, and then grab my camera and re-video how light my finish work had to become.
Oh, sure.
All of that took place in 4 minutes and 16 seconds.
Wow. Yeah.
So, and that was doing 2.5 feet of the rail, the whole top of the front door.
And how long would that normally take you if you had a hot glue, regular traditional? Well, listen to us now saying traditional hot glue, right?
Yeah, that whole rail probably would have taken me 2.5 hours with regular hot glue.
Right.
Just the sheer volume. And the bulk of the work comes from having to tap back.
Yeah. Yeah.
The over pulls with your hot glue. And that's something that Glexo kind of prevents. So now this rail had 130 dents in it. I don't even remember how many dents. It was a hit hard rail, and I had 50 minutes into it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Start to finish. So,
yeah.
It moved me up that fast because it didn't replace the hot glue. I still had to hot glue some dents.
Sure.
But man, you just move through the metal so much quicker. So it's crazy.
It's for real. And I mean, guys, you got to try it. And it's definitely not, don't go getting butyl tape thinking it's butyl tape, because it's just not.
Yeah.
You will get pulls out of butyl tape, but you're not getting the full resources of cold glue. And for crying out loud, dude, I have the same Glexo tube for like 2 years now.
Well, that's just it. So Jesse and I both are like, okay, so it's a consumable. The glue is now consumable. It's something that we didn't realize how consumable it was.
Yeah.
But now we've got a really good study on that. So it's like, okay, so out of that, what is that? 4.5 inch long tube, 5 inches long?
Yeah.
I'm going to get 400 tabs. I'm going to pull 400 dents with each dab. I mean, it's the cost savings is just tremendous. I mean, it's not an expense to worry about.
No,
so,
it's not. And I guess that's my point. It's not. Even
I wouldn't stress it.
Both of us being cheap as we are, it's not. It's so much fun to work with too. And even on the bigger damage that I'm using, sometimes like that last 10% that everyone struggles with, not everyone, but a lot of the technicians out there, you struggle with that last 10%. And what you can do, what I've been doing is like when you get back and you're like, oh man, there's just a little bit something left. That's when I pull out cold glue again and I finish off that dent. You know what I mean? Just to get that little shallow out.
And it's because, unlike using the hot glue where you put the tab on, whether you're pulling it with a mini lifter or your slide hammer, it's because with that lightweight slide hammer, you're using one hand, you're back there at that full arm's length where you see that little shallow.
Yeah.
But then you don't pull it into the monster high, which then pulls another little shallow spot that you have to, and you keep working that out with your hot glue.
Yeah.
With the cold glue, it doesn't over pull it to that level.
No, it doesn't.
So the real time savings, because I could probably put on 20 hot glue tabs and snapped them all off in 4 minutes. But then I was going to spend 35 tapping down all the highs.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
And here I did it all in 4 minutes, and I spent another 4 minutes tapping down my highs. And that's where the really time savings comes in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is you're not doing those monster highs.
Well, sure.
So.
You know what? Hey, let's give Hambalicious a call. Let's call that little guy over there in Georgia.
Heck yeah.
Let's see.
Because he's killing it on motorcycle stuff.
You know what? He just texted me. That's perfect. So I know he's up because he is 3 hours ahead. So we'll give him a call and see what the hell he's up to.
Yeah, he just posted. He's got a good crotch rocket tank with a heck of a dent in it.
Right? 2 ring-a-dingies.
Hey, bud.
What the hell you doing, boy?
I'm creeping down the hallway so I don't wake up the kids.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Sorry
Sorry to call.
So
Sorry.
we won't yell.
Hey, say hi. Say hi.
Crap! Am I on live or something?
Yes, you are.
Oh God! The second I heard a second voice, I knew I was screwed.
Yes. Well, it's only one extra voice. It's John Renstrom on the line with us.
What's going on, Mr. Renstrom?
It's doing good, Steve. Hey, come on, man. All right, you just posted a photo of these 2 motorcycles. Daniel and I just had a big long talk a little while back on these motorcycle tanks. How long do you have those tanks around your place?
All right, so the Honda tank, I got that yesterday and I fixed it today. The Sherpa tank came today, and I have started to kind of learn to not get myself under the gun so much. Daniel tells people a little bit longer lead time, and I probably will get to a point where I have to do that as well. But right now I tell people 1 to 2 weeks, and I kind of give myself, some breathing room because I don't know what else is going to happen with my normal route work and stuff like that. So the guy with the Sherpa tank, I've already got it mounted and everything, but I sent him an email and I said, hey, I got one in front of you. I'm going to have yours mounted by the weekend, set to begin repairs beginning of the week. So if I get to it ahead of time and I can get it done early, it'll be a nice big surprise to him. And, I know I have a hail car coming. I've got other stuff going on. So
you look like the hero. You look like you get it. You shoot for the worst and get it back to him within a decent time, and everyone's high-fiving you.
Yeah. Which, even if it goes the full time that I quote them, it's usually going to be quicker than any other, thing they're going to get. So.
Oh yeah.
All right. Cool. So I have one other question that I forgot to ask Daniel.
So, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Vince, you were calling me, and I've been sending you texts and pictures and stuff. That's why I thought you were calling me.
I know. That's what I said. I'm like, hey, let's call Hamby. Next thing you know, I look down and I got a whole bunch of texts from you. So
you do?
Yeah. Well, I'll look at. Do you want to talk about those? We could talk about those on the air if you'd like.
Sure. Let's talk about it briefly.
Okay. So what do you got for
me? Fill me in.
So I'm laying in bed, and I get
that's
a
good
text
start.
that says, it is, yeah. Well, my wife's asleep, so it's not really a great start,
Yeah.
But I get a text from a guy in Los Angeles who has seen my Ferrari F430 dent repair video on YouTube, and he has a ding on his quarter panel, and he was reaching out to me to find someone in the Los Angeles area that can fix it.
Yeah.
So I thought of you. I don't know how far away from Los Angeles you are, but I sent you I basically took a screen share of his voicemail so you could hear it with his number and pictures of the car and everything. And I told him I'd reach out and try to find someone in his area qualified to do it.
Yeah. So. Well, I'm not going to go up to LA. Well, this time when COVID, it takes you no time to get it up to LA now, but I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm semi-retired, Mr. Hamby. I'm not.
I do understand, but when I heard Ferrari,
right.
I also heard dollar bills
Yes.
falling from the sky.
Yes.
So
Ferraris are our hail damage out here on the West Coast. They're so frequent out here, the Ferraris, that we consider it our hail dance. We dance for Ferraris. We don't dance for hail.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. I'm laughing at my own terrible joke. That's pretty bad. So
It's the dad joke.
it is a
Well,
dad
if that's
joke.
the case, it's the desert where I live because I have to go about an hour and a half north to Atlanta to see those.
Right. Speaking of which, I wanted to talk to you about that. That's why we want to call you, because you're in Hotlanta, Georgia, and you guys were the first state to reopen. Like John, his state never closed. There's like they're the land of. You look up social distancing, and there's a picture of John in South Dakota, and,
Right.
That's social distancing.
I'm on my front deck.
Yeah. But like down there in Hotlanta, well, you're not in Atlanta. You're an hour and a half away. What?
No, from downtown Atlanta, I'm about 45 minutes away.
Okay, so 45 minutes. Are most of your accounts in Atlanta?
Um,
On the outskirts,
I have
suburbs.
Yeah, on the outskirts. I'd say that half at least.
Okay, so how were you guys really affected? I know out here people are screwed. I mean, dealerships are screwed. I'm trying to return my lease right now, and they're saying we don't want it. We have no place on our lot. We're jam packed, and we can't take your car. I'm like, well, it's not my car. It's your car, and I need a place to put it because it needs to go back by June 5th. So, what's going on out there with your lots? Are they selling?
Dude, I noticed that there was a difference, but if I didn't have everybody, talking about COVID all the time, I would just think that this is just like a slow time of year or something. Really, it didn't affect me a whole lot. I noticed that some of the dealerships didn't buy as many or were taking in some really rough trades because, I think the auction shut down for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So they had a little bit of trouble getting cars. So they were keeping a lot of trades that they otherwise wouldn't have kept. So I ended up fixing a lot more, beat up stuff that I otherwise wouldn't have. But my retail calls went through the roof because people were stuck at home, couldn't work.
Yeah.
And they're sitting there staring at that ugly dent that they haven't been able to get fixed because they're too busy. So my retail side went up. And, kind of having your hand in a bunch of different, pots as far as PDR goes, as far as retail, motorcycles, wholesale, it just, when one goes down, the other seems to go up. And I don't know if that's just I got lucky or if that's a common phenomenon.
Dude,
but
you've caught on is what you've done. You've diversified your PDR industry and your PDR business. You know what I mean? And that's you're not all all your eggs in one basket. You're not all wholesale or all retail. You got avenue streams coming in from all of them now. That's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Now, Vince, you're not doing like lots, are you?
Me, no. I'm 100% strictly retail.
Right.
So I got hit hard.
Okay, Steven, then on your lots, what are you hearing with this talk of rental fleets, like Hertz going Chapter 11, gonna offload cars? Are you hearing anything out of your car lots talking about that?
No, I haven't heard anything about that. A lot of my lots buy up a ton of rental cars. The only thing I have heard, the only information I've heard about Hertz at all or any kind of rental car company is I was talking to a buyer for a Toyota dealership, and this is just hearsay from him, so it could be complete BS. But he said, "Oh man, I think Hertz normally does X amount of $1 million a day, nationally." And he said, "Man, like the other day they did like 10 times that much." So, I haven't heard any kind of doomsday talk in terms of the rental car companies.
Out here, it's different. If you do a drone flyover or fly over Dodger Stadium, Chavez Ravine, or Angel Stadium, you will see the parking lot packed like there's a game going on. And those are all rental cars.
Weird that you said that because So about 10 minutes up the road from me is Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Uh-huh.
And there's some winding roads behind it and everything. I'll ride my motorcycle through there sometimes. And I was coming back from there, and I saw like a grass area that there's never cars there. I mean, they only have one race a year here now.
Yeah.
So the venue is vacant a lot. And this grass lot was packed full of cars, and they all had Florida tags on them, and they were all like bumper to bumper. Like, I mean, it looked like they were just like airlifted and dropped side by side by side. I don't even know how they did it.
I don't even know how they did it either.
I saw that, and I had no clue what it was.
Yeah, that's what it is. those are all rentals.
Yeah, rumor is that rental fleets are about to dump inventory.
Yeah.
And so there's going to be a massive load of cars hitting the auto auctions soon.
Perfect.
Well, so we'll see.
Yeah. And, you know, I guess it's the good thing is you, Mr. Hamby, you're diversified between wholesale and retail and motorcycle tanks, and you're doing well. So we're glad to hear that.
Yeah, can't complain.
Yes.
That's awesome.
All right. Do you have anything else to share with us from Georgia land before we move on to the next person? And
I don't.
I'll get you a good referral for LA.
Yeah. I told the guy I'd reach out to him sometime tomorrow with it and everything. So
yeah,
he was super grateful that I answered my phone. It was like 9-something here.
Yeah.
so he said, I'm sure you can understand the urgency. Yes, right. I can. You put that on your Ferrari. I understand. Very urgent matter.
Yeah. Well, cool. So, all right. Well, Steve, I'll touch base with you tomorrow. I won't keep you up. I know you're 3 hours ahead of us. So,
all right, no problem.
I
appreciate the phone call, guys.
Yeah, we'll talk to you in a bit.
Thanks for speaking with us.
All right, brother.
Yeah, John. Good to talk to you.
Yep. Talk to you later, man.
All right. Bye now.
All right. See ya. Bye.
Steven is a good dude. I always like talking to that guy.
Yeah, I could pick his brain for days. Yeah, he just has a great thing going out there in Georgia. Yeah. You know, and like you said, diversified his company so that he always stays busy.
Yeah, and you know, he just has a great outlook and personality about all that stuff too. So wish him a lot of luck. Well, okay, should we call someone else or should we call it quits for tonight, John?
Well, what's our time at here?
We're about 40 minutes in, so we're only about 5 minutes shy of what we normally would do a podcast.
Well, it's not too bad.
No.
So
I think what we could do is wrap it up and let these guys go out there and try out their Glexo and think about, you know, purchasing some scanners. One other thing, and I see it all the time about the scanners, and I want to clarify this. Don't go on eBay or Amazon and buy these scanners. You know,
why is that, Vince?
Oh, because they're not American. They're not allowed to be in America. They're regionally marked. So they are a real scanner. They are a real scanner, yes. And it will work for about the first year. And then you're going to go and get an update, or you're going to have a warranty issue. The battery's going to crap out on you, and you want a new one. And Autel is going to be like, yeah, we can't do that. Yeah, that $200 you saved on buying it on Amazon or buying it on eBay, that is actually that was made for China, or that was made for Africa or South America, and it wasn't made for the U.S. market. So they will not update it. They will not honor the warranty or anything. It doesn't become a useless piece of machinery unless it's broke, but it does. You can't get updates on it.
Yep.
So
that was one of the first things I learned about scanners. And now that is not strictly an Autel issue either.
No,
that is pretty much all of them across the board. And it is so bad with these gray market scanners that I was paranoid to buy.
Yeah.
Until Anson, because I knew I could trust who Anson was.
Right. And that's the thing, because Anson, we are thinking about the future. We're not dwelling on the technology of the past so much. We're talking about bringing this PDR industry into the future. You know, between the IMI classes, certifications and stuff like that, scanning technology. We got a whole bunch of stuff rolling out at Anson in the next couple of years that is going to blow your friggin' minds. So, you know, keep keep locked into that. Follow Anson, follow PDR Tool Time, because we're gonna be talking about that stuff quite a bit on here. Now that it's not now, I've been a part of Anson for the last year and a half. So,
but now I can possibly get a hold of some of these tools and help give you guys actual shop usage.
right.
Not just theoretical behind my desk talk.
Right.
I'm honestly, even when I'm doing this beat disgusting stuff, I'm loving every second of it. Yeah. I'm so happy to be out fixing cars.
Yeah, and I'm going to be in the toy store playing with these tools on a daily basis.
That's good.
And testing them out and coming up with new stuff, and it's going to be wonderful. Come next month, it's going to be really good. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yep. Awesome stuff, man.
So cool. Well, John, I think we just caught up to that time that we were talking about. So, what do you got to say to everyone?
And don't do stupid stuff.
And keep it stiff. Thanks for listening.
See y'all.
Make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with all the industry and tool-related news every week.
Visit AnsonPDR.com for the largest selection for just about all your PDR tools, where you'll find hog glue and hog tabs.
Don't forget to grab your Magnatech mat, available at most PDR tool distributors. Thanks for listening.